You guys are awesome. And you know who else is awesome? Who else is awesome is our next speaker, who I am going to be bringing to the stage right now. This gentleman is a Gulf War veteran. And so first and foremost, before I read anything else from your bio, I just want to thank you for your service, sir. That right there, I can just thank you for your service and we'd be good. But there's so much more to you than that. He is a Gulf War veteran and a retired police officer who transitioned his life into entrepreneurship and real estate consulting to the tune, and I need you to hear me now, to the tune of over $75 million in sales. His latest endeavor is the upcoming launch of his long-awaited book, Ignite Your Greatness. Write that down, Ignite Your Greatness, so that you can pick it up. And today, he's going to share with you the first step to embracing and unleashing your greatness to the world so that you can get on the trajectory of living a life with a mindset of unlimited potential. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, hit the love button, hit the heart button, and welcome to the stage, Mr. Barry Overton. Barry, the stage is yours, my friend.
All right. Thank you so much, Devon. I got to tell you, I've been on since the beginning, and I'm like Patti LaBelle. I had to come out of my shoes. You bring in so much great energy. These speakers are bringing great energy. So thank you so much. Everybody put hashtag party with Devon in the comments, because he is doing a phenomenal job. I had to first give glory and honor to God. Without you, none of this would be possible. But then I want to also give thanks to the godfather of greatness, Mr. Les Brown. I often say that this pandemic, there was one thing good that came out of it, that Les Brown was at home. He wanted to be able to inspire, other than the squirrels and the trees that he talked to outside of his window, he wanted to be able to inspire people around the world. I've been blessed and fortunate, along with our other Power Voice speakers, to be one of those folks. I can tell you, my certificate is proudly displayed in my home. When people come over, I show it to them. I say, you understand what this means? Les Brown, over 50 years of speaking. Les Brown, this Power Voice system, I've been trained in it. And they say, okay, well, what does that mean? And I tell them, I'm classically trained. I'm so classically trained, I drank my tea with my pinky finger up. and I say that because music, you can be classically trained. Dance, you can be classically trained. Speaking is an art, and we have been blessed to be trained by the maestro himself. So again, Mr. Brown, thank you so much. And I got to give a shout out, John, Winnie, Dolly, Alicia, all the people behind the scenes that make this well-oiled machine run. Thank you so very much. Let me just jump right into it, ladies and gentlemen, and just tell you, there's greatness in you. I know you've heard those terms before. You follow Les Brown. I've heard it so many times, but it was about 10 years ago that it started to resonate with me. Just by a show of hands, or put a silver spoon, if this fits you. How many of us were born with a silver spoon in our mouth? I can't even raise my hand on that. I can tell you, I was lucky to have a plastic spoon. So if you had a plastic spoon, put plastic in the comments, or put a wooden spoon. But I can tell you that most of us were not born with a silver spoon in our mouths. And it takes me to a quote by Steve Jobs. And it's about connecting the dots in life. And he says, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. But you must trust that the dots will connect in the future. I can tell you, when I heard that, it took me back all the way to childhood. 3-4 years old. I can tell you, at 3-4 years old, I dreamed my biggest dreams. At that point, I wanted to be Superman. That was my guy. And not the one that's in the theaters now, George Reed in the black and white Superman. That's who I wanted to be. I know if guys or girls, if you out there and you did some of this stuff, put it in there. Say, raise your hand, say, me too. But I can tell you, I ran through my neighborhood with a terry cloth towel tied around my neck, big old safety pin. That cape is just flapping in the wind, and I'm jumping off of 6-foot walls. Well, they may have been 3-foot walls, but at 3 years old, it felt like a 6-foot wall. But nonetheless, that was my dream. But along comes environmental challenges, but then there's also people in your life, people that are loved ones, that become a challenge to you. And I had family members tell me, that's not real. Superman is not real. You can't be that. And it was devastating. It shattered a dream, for me. And I can tell you the environmental aspect of life also hit. See, I experienced a period of homelessness. I grew up in Section 8 housing. I grew up on food stamps that I was embarrassed to be able to go to the store and use. Now, my mom did an astounding job of raising me with everything that she had available to her. But nonetheless, it was at a very early age that I realized there's some challenges that I'm going to have to overcome. But one thing still stayed with me is to dream. 7, 8 years old, the dream, more realistic maybe. I said, I'm from Austin, Texas. I wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy. That was the dream for about 8, 9 years of my life, all the way into high school. Now, in high school, I was 6 feet tall, 175 pounds, but I was a speedster. I could just flat out run. And I was running across the middle. I was playing freshman and practicing with the varsity team. And I took a route across the middle. I reached out for that ball and boom, whoo. Let me tell you something. The dreams of being a football player got knocked right out of me in that moment, I'm telling you. But this is the dot that I got from that one. See, I'm connecting dots in my life, and the dot I got from that one was quitting. I quit on a dream. And I can tell you, something comes from quitting. It's called regret. There's a study that was done several years ago where they surveyed senior citizens and asked them about regrets in life. And surprisingly, it wasn't the things that they did that they regretted. It was the things they didn't do that they regretted. And I can relate to that so well, because I can tell you in adulthood, I always had the what if. What if I would have stuck with it? Where would I have gone? Would it have taken me to college? Would it have taken me to the NFL? So there was the regret that I had to live with. But let's go back to being a teenager, just quitting football. I found another dream. This is another dot. This is a dot that helped me to get over shyness. See, I know looking at me right now, 6'3", 240 pounds, doesn't look like it, but my bald head self was a Michael Jackson impersonator, and I was pretty good. Did it for about a year and a half, won contests, and just really enjoyed doing that. But what it revealed to me is I love the stage. I love being out in front of people. Now, off to the side, I'm a little shy. I'm a little soft-spoken, but I came out of my shell on that stage. So that was a huge dot for me. Now, I didn't quit that. I more so just transitioned out of that because I couldn't go all my life being Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson was doing a good job of being Michael Jackson. So I needed to be Barry Overton. So I had to find myself. So again, I went back to a hero. And this was a real life hero, my uncle, Freddie Maxwell. He was in my life, all my life. And it was till I became a young adult that I realized I got a hero that was the first Black sergeant, first Black lieutenant, first Black captain of the Austin Police Department. So lo and behold, I became a police officer, spent 26 years in that profession because of him, got into real estate because of him. And I can tell you, Tony Robinson has a quote about, if you want to be successful, find the people that have achieved the things that you want and copy what they do until you achieve the same results. See, in school, we're taught you can't be a copycat. But I can tell you, I'm dressed just like my mentor, Les Brown, today. I'm a copycat because, you may not want to be a copycat, but unless you copy the right cat, it's okay. All right. So again, but that was another dot of realizing success leaves clues, follow the clues. And from that point, 26 years in law enforcement, the next step was really to go full-blown entrepreneur. And I can tell you that was scary. But this is a major dot for me. And it was the dot of realizing overcoming fear. It came through a book, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. In this book, Napoleon Hill interviews the devil, and the conversation goes a little something like this. The devil starts by saying, "I will answer any question that you ask of me on one condition." And Napoleon says, "Well, what is that?" And the devil responds, "You must refer to me as Your Majesty." And Napoleon said, "Well, why?" And the devil's response was, "Because I am the ruler of this world, and I rule it by two things, fear and doubt. When I heard that, the devil could have dropped a mic in that moment, because that was it for me. I realized so many things that I quit on, so many things that I was fearful of, I was allowing the devil to work in my life. And see, I already knew growing up in the church that the Lord did not give me a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. So in that moment, everything changed. I was no longer fearful of the things that I wanted in life. Next step, next dot that was brought into my life and that I learned from was I still had to deal with naysayers. Just like I did at 3 and 4 years old, there were folks that didn't believe in my dream, but I also understood it was my dream. I'm going to share with you the parable of the donkey in the well. Many of you may have heard it, but I guarantee you ain't heard it like this. All right. So again, if you haven't heard it, it goes like this. There was a donkey on a farm and he's looking for water. He's thirsty. It's a hot day. He comes across the well and dips his head in to try and get a taste of the water. There's no water at the level that he's trying to reach. He dips his head further in and he falls to the bottom of the well. Well, there was no water in this well at all. It was a dry well and abandoned. So now he wants to figure out how to get out, and he's scratching and clawing along the sides, crying and making all kinds of noise. Well, the farmer and his son come out and they hear the commotion. They see the well and the donkey in the bottom of the well, and they say to themselves, well, what are we going to do? They try to throw ropes down and try all different types of techniques to get him out of the well, but they can't get him out. And the farmer looks at his son. He says, son, I hate that we're going to have to do this, but we don't have any choice. I should have filled this well a long time ago so something like this didn't happen, but we're going to have to fill it now. So they begin to take their shovels and dig and drop it into the well, dig the dirt, drop it into the well. And lo and behold, down at the bottom of the well, the donkey has dirt that's falling on him. It's falling on his head. It's falling on his shoulders. And he shakes it off and it falls down to his feet. Now, all of a sudden, his legs are starting to fill up with the dirt, and he steps up above the dirt, and the dirt continues to come down. So he shakes it off and he steps up. He shakes it off and he steps up. He got like Jay-Z at some point where he said, get that dirt off your shoulder. I told you this was my version. But again, he shakes it off and he steps up, and all of a sudden you can see his head coming above the well. Then you see his shoulders coming above the well. Then his legs are coming above the well, and he can step out of the well. Well, I can tell you the farmer and the son, they got their shovels. They dropping shovels down. They're like, I can't believe this. What just happened? They look at one another, say, how did this happen? And they don't know. They look at the donkey. Now, I told you, this is my version. My donkey was a talking donkey. They got a talking donkey in Shrek. I got a talking donkey. So they look at the donkey and they ask him, how did you do that? And the donkey said, started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team here. Started from the bottom, now he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you, I don't care where you're at in life. You can be midway, you can be all the way at the bottom. There's got to be a starting point. But if you start connecting the dots, don't worry about the dots of the future. Go back and look at all the things that you have learned in life that have got you to the point that you are at right now. I can go back to 3 and 4 years old and realize I dreamed big. That was a dot for me. Started from the bottom, and I had some naysayers that told me, hey, you can't become Superman, but I live a pretty super life right now. And I shook it off and I stepped up. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that you're going to have people that come into your life that will inspire you, but you're going to have some that because they gave up on their dreams, they expect you to give up on yours. And they're going to tell you different things, and you're going to feel like you need to shake it off and step up. There's going to be times in your life where you feel like you need to quit, but get over that. Find, reevaluate, get yourself back together, shake it off, and step up. There's going to be times when you have fear. Shake it off and step up. There's going to be times when you have doubt. Shake it off and step up. I'm telling you, there's going to come some more naysayers. Shake it off and step up. And as you rise to the top, coming out of that well, I want you to turn to all those that know, love you, and really yourself, and say, started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now we hold the whole team here. But I want you to also remember, there's still more dots in your future to connect. My name is Barry Overton. I want you to ignite your greatness, because there's greatness in you, and you better believe it.
Barry, man, brother, I got two quick things before I let you know. A few quick things. Number one, thank you for that. Number two, 1,000% spot on. With the life is to be lived going forward, but to only be understood looking backwards. You can only connect the dots going backwards. And what you said about regret was beyond spot on. But let me just tell you, one challenge I had with what you did today was that you brought to the stage the idea that you can dance, and now, bro, like that's my domain. So I'm just gonna tell you right now. Next time I see you, it's dance off. It's on.
All right.
Okay. All right. It's on. It's. Absolutely. I was like, what? Did he just say Michael Jackson impersonator? It's on. So thank you so much for sharing your words and for your service to this country and for everything you've done. Oh man, I love it. We are having so much fun here today, and